Greetings, you all. Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing today? Wow. Okay, so I just broke it. Like, I just totally broke it. I'm gonna go and come back. I'll be back. I guess I don't need it, huh? Can y'all hear me? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. But I'm gonna let it be. Okay, so I am about to repot my plants, and I feel like I get here later and later every day. All right, so I am the Moon Mama. Welcome to our Master Nodal class. I realize that I'm here later and later every day, and I just want to acknowledge that it's doing the work lately. The internal work has been the energy is very intense, and so it just takes a longer amount of time for me to get myself ready. That's really all I can really say. And I feel kind of guarded. Like, I feel like there have been times in the past where I could come here in my pajamas, but I don't feel like that anymore, especially since I have somebody actually in the background getting on my case. Like, every time you get on camera, you need to look pretty, which, just so you guys know, is so fucking annoying to me. I don't have that going on about, I'm here to give you guys information, and the information is about, the information in and of itself is valuable. And so I also do understand that I feel better. Like, I do feel better when I look a certain way, but sometimes getting myself to look a certain way takes a lot of time. And that's what you guys have been witnessing. Like, the process of becoming what people will call camera ready is just fucking annoying to me. It is. But I also am a girl, and I have a closet full of dresses and earrings. I own this stuff, but I have not owned it for camera. I have owned it so that I can feel good when I want to out in the world. So all those things are happening all at once, and I'm the Moon Mama. Happy Wednesday. Today's the day that Mercury rules. And Mercury is still completing its shadow. It's the final leg of its shadow. So I'm going to be repotting these plants while I'm talking. So Mercury is, I hope you guys can hear me well because my little microphone just broke. But Mercury is currently finishing the last couple of days of its shadow. Post-shadow. It already went retrograde, and now it's completing the final 3 weeks. So Mercury retrogrades. Mercury does a pre-shadow for 3 weeks, and then it does an actual retrograde for 3 weeks, and then it completes the retrograde with the post shadow, and it's there now in the post shadow. So Mercury had been retrograde in Aries and Pisces. It's back in Aries now in the final days of this retrograde, which I think ends on like Friday. And you guys can hear me because I don't have a microphone on, and I'm not speaking into a microphone, so normally I am. So now that Mercury is in Aries, Mercury in Aries is giving us an opportunity to create a new mindset. Now, I can talk about this like it's really simple. And any spiritual system that you follow will say how important it is to understand your mind and transform your mind, to understand that we live in a mental reality. Our mind is the key. to everything that we have going on in our lives, because this mental reality is based on thought. So whatever you think, and thought, I know, like, if you guys are anything like me, I have a voice in my head that's always running, that's always like, computing everything, opinioning everything, recognizing everything, and then the history, will tell me that thing that I'm experiencing right now in real time reminds me of something from the past. And then whatever it reminds me of something from the past, then that narrative becomes an experience in my current experience, and I bring my past into the current moment. It's like a really easy example is, I might be out and I encounter somebody and they're not kind, and maybe it's a white person. I encounter a white person and they're not friendly, or their energy feels restrictive, or they don't smile, and my brain will tell me, oh, white person, unkind, racist. That's what my brain will do, and that's not necessarily true. It's not true that they are necessarily. They could just be. Their mother could have died. You know what I mean? They could be going through a divorce or a breakup or a health challenge or anything. But my brain will give me old information about a current experience. And that is what I'm talking about when I talk about transforming your mind. The stories you tell yourself. I'm using these breathable pots. Or any of you guys, these are called naked pots. And they breathe. And you can put water in them and just store the water. And you don't have to water your plants as much. And the plants that I have right now that are in these naked pots are doing so well. I feel so excited about it. So with Mercury in Aries, we are literally transforming our thought process. And because it's Aries, you're transforming your thought process about yourself. Now that's the trick. To transform the story you tell about yourself, right? Like, so for me, because I have Aries in the first house, my story about myself literally really is important. I mean, everybody's story about themselves is important, right? But it's important that you believe in yourself. So how I do that is I just tell myself over, I believe in myself. I'm where I'm meant to be. Everything is serving me. I show up as I'm meant to show up. I'm listening. I'm divinely guided in everything that I do. Everything always works out for me. I'm right where I'm meant to be. I'm in service to who I'm meant to be in service to. The universe is supporting me in every way. Like literally building an identity from inside of yourself about how you think about yourself. How you think about yourself. Because how you think about yourself, like I said, this is a mental reality. How you think about yourself will then impact what you experience in your actual life. It will impact the people that you attract, right? So if you have confidence, if you feel valuable, if you know that you are doing what you are here to do, and it's not about the actual physical things, because the physical world is truly an illusion, you all. So it's not really about what you're actually physically doing. It's about the mindset you bring to what you're actually physically doing. And so while we have this Mercury, the final days of this Mercury retrograde, and all these incredible other transits that are happening with Mars in opposition to Pluto and Aquarius, we literally are being unraveled at the deepest level of ourselves so that we can reprogram ourselves. So let me give you some examples of some of the things that are showing up for me, and that it might be supportive to you. Oh gosh, what do I feel like I want to share? What do I feel like I want to say out loud? Okay, so I'm currently in this place of really understanding my personal mission in life and my personal work and how I have historically over-identified with others and how my over-identifying with others would have me compare myself to others. And in the comparing myself, I would change my behavior. I would doubt myself. I would be really confused about what actions to take, what mattered to me. And what I had to really get clear about was what I actually really care about. What's actually really important to me. And how did I find that? How did I get clear about that? I got clear about that by understanding my natal chart. My natal chart tells me where my energy will the best way to use my energy. So my natal chart makes it really clear that the best way for me to use my energy is to be focused on my own identity, the things that I care about that are unique. And the reason it's best for me to do that is because if I can create an environment that really does honor the things that feel true to me, that environment will not only serve me, but it will serve others. It's kind of like a Noah's Ark kind of experience. If you can think of that from a metaphorical perspective, it's like Noah built an ark because the voice inside of him said, this is what you need to do. And so when I listen to the voice inside of me, it shows me how to create environments that serve me. But not only do those environments serve me, but they serve others. Had I continued to look outside of myself at what others were doing and who others were being, I would continue to go down an old, outdated path. But because I am having the courage to listen to my own voice, to stop comparing myself to others, to stop thinking that what they're doing is better than I'm doing, or if I'm over here doing this, I'm going to miss out on what they got going on over there. Now that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm really developing my own intuition, my own psychic abilities, my own gifts, my connection to the ancestors. So when I'm with my clients now, I can see the stuff that they can't see because I'm listening. I can hear, right? But if I weren't doing this, I would be with my clients and I might be afraid to tell them something that's so off of where they are because I don't want to upset their rhythm. I don't want to confuse them. But because I'm being deeply devoted to my own practices, my own ways of being, that is supporting me and actually being able to support others better. Okay, look at that. I repotted it. Ain't that pretty? I think I'm going to name my plants. I feel like all my plants. I think I'm going to name my plants men's names, male names. For another reason. I'll tell you guys the reason for that later. But so then it's this, you put it in here and then you put the water in here and then the water just sits. And it'll sit for days and slowly be absorbed by the plant. And it's just a better watered plant. Okay, so there's that one. Ugh, my nose is itching. My nose is itching. So this plant right here, my neighbor gave it to me. I have this neighbor upstairs, you guys. First of all, I love black people. I love black people. We are so colorful. So I have this neighbor upstairs who is this brother. He might be like 45 or 46, 47, something like that. Dark-skinned brother, really handsome. Like his face is like a really pretty face. Heavy, stocky. Probably he's like, maybe he's like 5'11" and 215 pounds. And so stocky. And he talks loud and he talks shit. Like, he's like, yeah, that nigga ain't that. What I mean? He's like that kind of guy. And it just very much reminds me of being in the hood. Like, I love that experience of that raw, unpolished, but responsible and also, creative and kind. And so he was out watering all his plants the other day. And I was like, oh, you have some, this is, the name of this is just stepped out of my head. Aloe. I said, you have aloe? He had a big aloe plant. He's like, yeah, I got another one upstairs. I'll give it to you. I was like, okay. So he gave this to me, and so I'm going to replant it. And he was like, yeah, I got this one upstairs, and it got some babies coming out of it. And I just love it, like a big old black grown man who, like when the Jehovah's Witnesses come to my apartment building, he curses, like he be like, how the fuck y'all get in here? Our gate is locked. What the fuck you doing in here? I'm like, ooh. And so he curses them out, but then he also takes care of his plants, and then he gave me a plant. So I love it. And sometimes he has women here who stay for 30 minutes that he paid to come off the street, which I really love because my mother was a sex worker. So I'm like, oh, and he has sex workers come. It's so great. Like, I love it. So he gave me this plant the other day, and so I'm going to repot it into this bigger pot. Okay. So Mercury, back to Mercury. Back to Mercury in Aries in the final degree. So today, this is so dry. While Mercury is in the final stages, today, tomorrow is just really a great day to write down affirmations that affirm who you are. Like everything. Like you want to affirm your body. I'm healthy. I'm whole. My liver works really well. My spleen is doing exactly what it's meant to be doing. I love how my lungs are flowing. Like really, because, my brain, my mind, I have great ideas. I feel really good about myself. Like really write that stuff down so that you really, get it in there before this retrograde is over with. Because I don't know when we're going to have another retrograde. I don't know when we're going to have another opportunity for that kind of retrograde energy, which was Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde. And they're both still in the shadow spaces of that retrograde experience. So we don't have much more time. Venus will be in retrograde, it's shadow until May, the middle of May. So we still have some more time to work with Venus, and I'll talk about that on Friday. But while Mercury's going to be over with. It's going to be over on Friday, so we only have a little bit of time. So another thing you can do, because Mercury is retrograde in the shadow still, it's like, are you planning to make any changes to your identity, like your presentation, your style, your sense of self? Because if you are, this is the time to do it. And, and if you can't fully do it, like it's not an all or nothing kind of thing. It's really important for us to know that astrology is not all or nothing. It's a process. So maybe you're just thinking about changing your hairstyle. Maybe you're just gonna start doing some research on a new hairstyle or a new, it's a process. You don't have to have all of the answers. And if you don't have all the answers, you start the process and then you will get clearer. Maybe you need to create an exercise routine. Maybe you need a meditation practice or some breath work or something, that really boosts your energy. I remember a couple of years ago during Aries season, I went and started a boxing class at a gym where it was filled with, for the most part, 13 or 14-year-old boys. And there were a couple of, grown women in there and some grown men. But I did that because I needed to boost my energy. And that is what this retrograde can help you do. Are there areas in your life that you need to build your confidence? And what can you do to support yourself in that? Maybe you want to go take a new class, a clay class or art class, or, something that enhances your sense of self because you are activating your energy in a new way. Okay, so that's Mercury. Now, the other part of today is that the moon is in Pisces. And the moon in Pisces, Pisces is where the North Node is. So the moon is going to be in Pisces for the next 2 days. So with the moon in Pisces, our the North Node is there and the South Node is in Virgo. So we are in an energy of forward movement, right? But the forward movement, because it's Pisces, is your visioning, your imagination, right? Like, one of the things that is very important for us to understand is that our imagination is the vehicle that takes us where we want to go. And we have been, as human beings, we're so focused on the external world because we're coming out of the Dark Ages. And the Dark Ages is where we have been deeply externally focused. The greatest challenge to our healing and the greatest opportunity in our healing is to become internally focused. And Pisces, the imagination is your internal world. So while we are, working with Mercury, and it's an opportunity with this Pisces moon to begin to put in action in your imagination, see yourself where you want to be. Use your imagination to envision yourself where you are going. And if you don't have a clear, like if you've not gotten clear about what your business is or what you're doing, how do you want to feel? Wherever you are, you want to feel good. So envision yourself happy. Envision yourself thriving. Envision yourself with people who support you. Envision yourself, in environments that feel good to you, that feel aligned, that feel connected. Envision yourself with people that really get you. I mean, I have been doing this work a long time, and for a long time, who I was, what I thought, and what I believed was just weird, right? Like, you believe in what? You believe in, it's, the moon, the astrology, right? But I just for years envisioned myself being understood, being connected, not being a foreigner. Like, I just really spent a great deal of time honoring my own internal world and celebrating myself from within. And now my life reflects that. My life reflects the world that I created in my own imagination. So interesting. I was with a friend of mine the other day, and it was so fascinating because for years I would be in spiritual communities and there would be no men. No men got it. No men cared. It was all woo-woo. And, I just was like, okay, that's what it is. And so I would spend most of my time in spaces with women. And I still create spaces with women. But I'm finally getting to the point where I have men in my life who actually are doing their own work and devoted and, in their practices. And our exchanges are not based in sex and that romantic thing, because I decided that wasn't a real value system for me anymore. So that's not where my energy doesn't land there any longer. I'm starting to have conversations with men who are talking about healing, and and don't get me wrong, because I have a friend named Seguro. We've been friends since we were in elementary school, and he has always been talking about healing. But those men are few and far between, and I'm starting to experience more of them now that I haven't known all my life, that I haven't been, for lack of a better word, conditioning to think in a more spiritual way. They're coming to me now with more, with a desire, with an intent to be transformed. And so it feels amazing. It's an incredible experience. But I did that through my imagination, through literally imagining myself being in company and space with men who are like, yeah, I get it and I understand it and I'm interested in how can I support you, right? Like I imagine that. I imagine hearing men say things that I want to hear. And I'm beginning to experience it. And so I did that with my imagination. All of it I've done with my imagination, though. It's not just men. It's everything. It's my health. It's my community. It's my clients. Like, I imagine my clients thriving. I imagine my clients coming back to me saying, oh, that thing you told me, oh, it worked. I get it. I imagine that. I imagine them doing better. I imagine it. I see it in my mind. And when I see it, it's going to show up, because that is my power. And I understand the nature of my power. So today, with the moon in Pisces, the sun in Taurus, you want to imagine yourself in the world that feels right for you, your reality, and then you want to feel it. You want to imagine it and then ask, what does that feel like? And what's of value to you? What do you value? What do you value? Like, I really know that I value a world where women are themselves, where our power is not being zapped by things that don't fucking mean a thing. That's what I value, right? So in order for me to value a world where women are that way, I have to become that woman. I have to make myself into that woman. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. All right, you all. So look at that. I repotted my plants. My aloe plant from my neighbor upstairs. I had been imagining, I literally have been saying to myself, oh, I got to get an aloe plant. I had been looking at them at the store and just hadn't done it yet. And then literally within a week, because I loved it, it showed up. And this one too. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that just pretty? I just feel like that's like a hairstyle. Like, can you imagine like a woman and then her hair is like that? So cute. I just love it. I just love it. This is also like a hairstyle. This one too. The aloe. It's like a hairstyle. So cute. Like, I think plants and trees look like hair. All right, so if you guys need any support, I am the Moon Mama. You can check out my website at healwithmoonmama.com. The portal for Daughters of the 13 Moons has closed. We will open it again when we do. And I am happy to support you all. If you guys want to get natal chart readings, if you have friends or family members, I do natal chart readings and stuff like that as gift certificates. You can give it as a gift certificate for your friends and family member. I would love to support them and you. And if you're not on my mailing list, send me your email address and I will put you on my mailing list so that you can get my emails. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Have a really beautiful day. Bye-bye.